Engineering Consulting Limited, a firm that specializes in the engineering, civil engineering and oil and gas industry. He is an alumnus of the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, where he became the student union president at his time. And of course, he also graduated from the University of Bolton, United Kingdom, and he's currently certified and a practicing engineer. Former executive director, trade and investment to Comrade Adams Ali Oshiomhole when he was the governor of Edo State at that time. And he is also the publisher of the Harmless Rabbit platform, both online and in print. He is a friend of Right Honorable Comrade Philip Shaibu, the Deputy Governor of Edo State. Lukman, you are welcome to the program.
Welcome, Habibat.
Your surname, sounds very fascinating. Akemokue. Yes. You are from Okbela. Now, what does it mean?
Akemokue means the war, the tribulations, the fight has ended. Yes, that is the meaning of my name. And my other name, Lukman,
yes,
was a name that was given to me by somebody who was my dad's friend in the north. He's late now. Former Minister for Petroleum, Rilwan Lukman.
Oh, Rilwan Lukman.
That's the one who gave me the name. And he was also a mentor to me when I schooled in Zaria. You know he's from Zaria.
Yes, yes.
So that's how my name comes in.
Interesting, interesting. All right, now, what is your assessment of the Governor Godwin Obaseki's performance in the last 3 years and 8 months?
Well, in assessing Obaseki's government,
yes,
let us contextualize it in the sense that the key indices for judging what he has done vis-a-vis the problem that now emanated between him and Oshiomhole. If we take the assessment through that context, it will be easier for people to connect very well with him. In that context, we use the common denominator called continuity.
Okay.
Oshiomhole was the one who told me about Godwin in 2015, 2016, that is the person that he's going to hand over to. And he gave me very, very clear, in the private, very, very clear explanation of who the person is and how he has supported him for 8 years without taking a dime from the purse. And there is this catch he always say. Godwin, however difficult a problem is, when developmental issues are brought up, Godwin will say, Oshiomhole, do the thinking, break the programs, I will find the money. And it was even then that Comrade even told me that that man he used to refer to, because when he came to become a governor in 2015, that time I was publishing a magazine called, 2007. In 2006, I initiated a magazine called Echoes of Power Shifts, which was primarily meant to ensure that after the Benins have done their 8 years, the power should shift to either Edo North or Edo Central. So I published that. And when Comrade came, when we brought him into Benin, 3 of us, Felix Schreiber led that team. Yeah. Then late Greg Haruna, who is now late, who was his PA, and myself. That time there was no party at all.
Okay.
And he kept telling us Lagos, somebody is raising money for him from Lagos. And he never told us who the person is. It was when he wanted to hand over, because I left the country after the election. Yeah. For my master's. After my master's, I got my job. I was working. I worked in the UK briefly. I went to UAE. So it was during that, when he came back to say, look, man, because I have already chosen who I wanted. He said, Lukman, this is who I want to hand over to. And he gave me a clear picture of who he is. He knows everything about the government, and he knows the direction that they are going. And so it is not good for him to go and give government to hand over to somebody who does not have a clear vision of where they are going. And that is why he chose the Godwin. Now, with this brief history, the question is, in assessing Godwin Obaseki's government, has it deviated from Oshiomhole's developmental strides? I will give you the various sectors. I will explain them to you to see that if Oshiomhole's vision for Edo State is what should be used to judge the performance of Godwin Obaseki vis-a-vis continuity, Obaseki scored 100%. Because in the various sectors, infrastructure, the roads, education, agriculture, these three key sectors, I can see and I can name the way methodically how Obaseki is following these programs, and even doing it faster than how Oshiomhole even thought or imagined. So during the course of our discussion, I will name them. These projects and things that people connect with. Human empowerment, human capital development. Reading the city of thugs and touts and trying to build future for our youth and children. I will name them and cite specific examples of how Godwin Obaseki is methodically following this program and doing perfectly and creditably well in these sectors. So in generality, before I go into specifics, Obaseki has performed creditably well, overwhelmingly well in his 3 years.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, you mentioned something about the magazine that you were publishing at that time, that if there's going to be a power shift, if it is the turn, or if it is the turn of the South, then you expect that the power should either shift to either the North or the Central.
Yes.
Now, Obaseki is from Edo South.
Yes.
So what are you envisaging in the next dispensation?
Well, Edo people, we are one. We are everybody migrated from Benin. The same linguistics, the same culture, the same way of life. There is no word you speak in Okpela language that you cannot connect with Benin. Like, who is the founder of Okpela? We call him Ikpomaza. He's a corrupted word for Ikpomusa. The word Okpela is a corrupted word for Okpiana. Man, yes, it was corrupted. The same thing if you go to Ishan and other Etako, their history is well defined that we are all from Benin origin. Now, so we act as brothers. We are all like other states where there are different tribes and they don't even have any heritage connection. So when we talk about power shift, it is just as a geographical considerations, Edo South, Central, and North. So when Lucky Benedio was exiting government, I came out with this concept. The power should quietly, peacefully rotate among the 3 senatorial districts. Of course, you know I'm from Edo North. So there was a bias. Okay. I have a bias that if the power is leaving Edo South, it should go to Edo North. And the 3 people who were showing interest then, I was working with 3 of them. I said, first and foremost, let us agree. Let the Benin agree that the power will go to Edo North. Michael Giadome, who was the deputy governor, he will tell you, I think if you watch, anybody ask him, he will confirm. Professor Julius Ihovere and Adams Oshiomhole, these 3 people, we put them in one basket. And I was doing a publication, Echoes of Power Shift, promoting and giving genuine reasons why power has to live here for Edo North. And we were distributing these write-ups. That time there was no Facebook, there was no social media. I write, I print in different colors, very colorful write-ups. And I go to Oba Palace, I go to House of Assembly, I go to schools and distribute them. And this is what we were doing then. So on the basis of power shift, I have been part of that system. Now the power shifted. The Beninese are very considerate. They understand and agree that they are our elder brothers. And if you look at the voting pattern, while the PDP then featured somebody from Edo Central, the ACN, AC, at that time featured somebody from Edo North. And the person they zeroed down on is Oshiomhole. So obviously I have to work with him. Now, 8 years uninterrupted. It was never disrupted. The Beninese voted massively for Oshiomhole, not considering that he is from Edo North, is an Ita command. They voted massively for him. And in 2012, that solidarity was reenacted. Now, in that 2012, there is an illustrious Benin son, General Ayavi Richards, who contested other PDP against Oshiomhole. And that was when Oshiomhole even got the best or a better victory. That was when they reenacted 18/18. Oshiomhole won across the 18 local governments, courtesy of what? The Beninese. It is that system of making peace in the land, of having an unwritten agreement of how power should be shared and rotated. It is that business that you see some of us are very concerned about, especially when you have somebody who's performing. Oshiomhole, Benin supported you for 8 years. Even when they had an illustrious son that would have removed you halfway, they supported you. Oshiomhole thinks that he's God, or does he think, who does he think he is? It's just an understanding of the people. Or what special gift? Is he that tall?
Now,
is he that handsome? What special gift does he think he have that made Benin jettison their son for him? Now that Obaseki has come in as a Benin man and is performing, it is expected that Oshiomhole should respect these people and allow this man to finish his 8 years, so that as power is moving
to where now?
All of us, I will champion that power should go to Central. Yeah. And the way I look at it, you know, both Central and North combined is not as big as South. So the way we are viewing it and structuring it is that when power leaves Benin for 8 years, wherever it goes to, after 8 years, that power must return back to Benin before it goes to anywhere. That's the way we have structured it. It's not that Benin finish, you go to Central, Central finish, you go to North. No. And that is what happened. When the Benin ruled for 8 years, it went to North. When they finished, it came back to South. When the Benin finished now, after 8 years, it will go to Central. When it finishes Central, it has to come back to Benin again. Before you are talking about North.
Okay.
This is the only way you can maintain peace in the land.
Okay. Now, let's talk about Obaseki's achievement. Do you think the governor has sufficiently touched on the 3 senatorial districts in his developmental strides?
Let me tell you how he has done that. I will name 3 very, very huge projects. In Benin, Airport Road. The airport road that Oshiomhole likes to speak about, or boast about. He took it down to Ogba River, right? And the contract was awarded to Setraco. I don't want to talk about what happened before it was taken from Setraco. There is a very dirty thing. And it has to do with this
No,
man.
we don't need to.
Now,
thank you.
He took it there, and which company executed that contract? That is Setraco. Then when you reach the end, around that ADP, there is this road called Iriri Road.
Yes.
From that Iriri Road, it cuts across about 22 communities. Arogba, Okoromi, Egbiri, down to Sapele bypass. That road is 4 times longer than Airport Road. Though Airport Road is dualized, but that one is the cost of that road. What was the idea? Comrades, do the arterial road, the venar connections will be done by Obaseki. Comrade did Airport Road, right? Obaseki picked it from where he stopped and take Iriri Road round. And which company? Setraco. It's a very good company. I'm an engineer. I know a company that is competent. Did Obaseki change the contractor? No. The same Setraco which Oshiomhole brought was allowed to continue. That is Edo South. When you go to Edo Setra, Ekpoma Road is another huge project. Obaseki, that road has been abandoned over a very long period of time. Since after Abusali did that road, there was no way people could no longer move in Ekpoma Township Road. Obaseki took that project and completed it. In Edo North, the first project, 2 months after Godwin Obaseki assumed office, Agbede Iowa Road, 29 kilometers. He started it. At the same time, he was doing the Edo South own, he was doing the Edo Central own, he was doing the Edo North own. These are roads. So, in terms of spread, he took huge road projects at the same time and made sure he executed all of them completely. And it is the same contractors Oshiomhole brought that he is using. The question is, Oshiomhole, where has Obaseki deviated from the program that you are fighting him? That's just one. Then, if you want me to go to other states, there are so many roads across the 3 senatorial districts that are ongoing. In my place, let me tell you, in my ward, for instance, Afukpela is Ward 7 in Okpela. Yeah. For 8 years, Oshiomhole was only able to construct 1.8 kilometer road for Okpela people. For 8 years, we were begging. He flagged that road off 3 times. He was doing politics with it. Flag off, commissioning, every time election comes, Oshiomhole will be there. Caterpillar will be doing Yaga. Immediately election is over, he takes the caterpillars away. Because they were not designed, they were not awarded. Obaseki came without visiting my community, Okpela, once. From the express to Yeluwa Junction, 1.8 kilometer, where Oshiomhole ended it. From that place to Ogriga, the end of Ogriga is 4.2 kilometers. Within a period of 1 year, Obaseki has done 4.2 kilometers in Okpela.
Was it because of your relationship with him?
Look, I can categorically tell you that you don't need to. The little interaction I have with Obaseki, you don't need to influence him before he gets something done. He has a clear picture, a clear idea of where he's going. And he understands the politics of development, where projects that are spread across communities are allotted the meager funds that are available to ensure that no development is skewed to one place. So if I tell you today that I pressurized Obaseki to do 4.2 kilometers in 1 year in Okpele, I am lying. Nobody, did he come? Nobody pressurized him.
So online and of course in print. Now, Lukman, what is your review of the governor's tour of Edo North Senatorial District?
The tour of Edo North, luckily I was there all through. The governor's tour of Edo North has put paid to the lies of Oshiomhole and all his haggard who are trying to create a false impression that Obaseki is not popular.
Now, how do you mean?
Let me tell you what it is. They are going about what they do in APC. If they will hold a rally in Auchi, but everybody across the senatorial district will be there. But Obaseki said no. Since Oshiomhole exists, that I am not popular, that's one consideration. The second consideration is avoiding jackpacking too many people in a given location because of this COVID-19. The third one is he wants to see for himself the problems, either they are roads, infrastructure, other infrastructures, or schools that he has not seen. So he takes the camp. He's not campaigning. He's going to assess the communities. So,
or is he trying to test his popularity with the people?
Number one, that's it. He needed to show. He needed to find out from the people in their various wards whether what he is doing goes well with them. And the second one, as I mentioned, is a medical issue, the COVID-19. Because if you want the whole stadium to be filled up, if you want the whole Benin to be filled up, Obaseki has enough people to fill the place. But it's okay, let me be the one to go to the various, we have 192 wards in Edo State. He goes to the various wards. In Edo North that you asked, we have 64 wards. He tore around the entire 64. The videos are there. If those people who turn up in each ward to welcome Obaseki, you can see the passion. Votes. The election is won. It's over. He was in my ward. I followed him around the 4 wards in Okpele, where I come from. Even the man who they have is a media mercenary, Kasim, who has been bought with funds to do all sorts of rubbish campaign against Obaseki. We were in his ward, in Ward 5. And I think we had...
When you say somebody has been bought with funds, I think we would like you to expatiate on that.
No, Kasim, I know Kasim, he's from my place. He does not do anything for altruistic reasons. You buy him. As he's here, if you want to buy Kasim, just pay the right money, he will work for you. That's what Kasim is. So people should not take him seriously. That if he is maligning Obaseki, it is because maybe Obaseki refused to pay what he asked for. Because I know 3 occasions when I have met him with Obaseki, but I cannot say that I knew what he was discussing. There was twice in a flight. I was on a flight with the governor. He didn't know I was on that flight. We landed Abuja. That day, I can remember, Kasim was waiting for the governor in the airport. Oyegu was there. He was waiting for him. I was now wondering, Kasim, waiting for the governor, he followed us round to all the areas we are going. I think it has to do with, he was to be given an award by NUT. Kasim was there. Even when the governor hosted us for a reception in Edo House, Kasim was there. You see him trying to get the governor's attention. Maybe that time was the time he was negotiating for payment so that he can write for. He's a gentleman. Obaseki is a gentleman. He's not cut out for that. He does not pay people to do work, but he appreciates good work when he sees one. Okay. So, Kasim was bought by Oshiomhole. We know the amount. Izeyamu brought some. Captain Rosa brought some. He took the last one in Yamu before you saw him as an attack dog. Chronically falsehood. Blatant falsehood against an innocent man whose only concern is to see the good and progress of Edo State. So we were in his word. When we came to his word, you see the women, you see the leaders, you see the youths, the passion with which they received the governor. And the governor does not lie. He is not given to, he's not the normal politicians that says with mouth. He sees the problem, he listens to you, and he tells you what he can do. And what he cannot do, he tells you he cannot do it. So when we were in Imyekuri in Ward 6, if you see that road, it's bad. He was shocked. Though he has done a road in that region, a C4 plus road. C4 plus. C4 plus is as they erroneously believe or make people to believe. C4 plus is not co-financed by World Bank. C4 was where the World Bank brought 30%, the state government brings one. Okay. Right? But C4 plus is 100% funded by the state government, but using the C4 template, procurement template. He has done a road in that region. That when you follow that Imyekuri, as we are just entering, there is a road, but though it's Ward 8, 700 meters. He did it. Then from that place down to the Imyekuri, the road is very bad. And when the governor came there, you could see him talking to me. This road, how many kilometers are this road? This, I could see he was touched. And he made a promise that I did not come here to campaign. I came here to tell you and make a promise to you people. This road, before I leave government, in fact, in 24 months, I will get this road done. That is how a leader speaks.
No. Talking about the mammoth crowd that, that are welcoming the governor. Some people are of the opinion that, these crowds were rented. What do you have to say to that?
Let me tell you, the beauty of visiting ward to ward is that people come out of their houses. So there's no rentage. Apart from the escorts that follow the governor to the place, everybody you saw in that crowd came out of their houses. Nobody paid even a bike fare. So who are you renting? People come out of the governor is coming. Oh, Obaseki is coming. Let us go and hear him out. Let us go and welcome him. So there is no rentage. It is there that when they are going to somewhere, you will see 38 luxurious buses carry people from one place to the other. There was no bus. They're just ordinary cars where you open, you see one or two persons. I took my car. I was the only one, and my driver and my police escort that came there because I followed him around. But every other person in my ward for this time, everybody checked out of his house. So rent who? What is renting anybody? If there is anywhere people are being rented, it's APC. And that's their trademark, deception.
Now, what do you make of the simple agenda of APC versus the governor's mega manifesto?
When I hear simple agenda, first and foremost, the agenda, simple agenda, was stolen from a scion of Obaseki's family, Pedro. It was his idea to tell you how fake this Pastor Izeyamu project is. He stole somebody's thoughts, somebody's ideas. That's number one. Then when they want to broadcast this simple, they make it look like one nice acronym. If you follow the use of the acronym, what is simple about governance? There's nothing simple about governance. Governance of a state is a serious business. It is the allocation of scarce resources efficiently, effectively, to competing needs, public needs. And when you are allocating them, a lot of parameters come into play. The cost, the distribution, the fairness, the political pressures and all that. Those are the things that you must put into consideration when you are allocating these very scarce resources on these humongous needs. How can a reasonable person call such a serious business a simple agenda? The governance of a state with the numerous and difficult parameters involved is not as simple as pouring a fellow student acid. It's not. To pour acid on a fellow student is a simple thing. If that is what it means, yes. If to be a customer of EFCC, if I want to be a customer of EFCC, I will just steal from you, or you give me money to execute, or I dupe you. Now, I will be their customer. It's simple. So, governance is not as simple as being an EFCC customer for stealing 700 million. If those are the things that they think governance is about, then I may understand their simple agenda. But if it has to do with allocation of scarce resources to competing needs, to ensure there is security, to ensure our students are educated, to ensure that our youth are taken off the streets, to ensure that agberoism, thuggery, which is a simple agenda, is taken off the streets, that can never, these critical elements of governance can never be simple. They can never be approached simply. Yeah. To do and get such strong and serious matters resolved is a mega business. And that is the project of Obaseki, mega, making Edo great again. So they should save me the trouble of simple agenda. And let us look at the serious business of a mega agenda, which is needed to do productive and efficient governance of our people.
What is the catch in this mega manifesto? What is the catch?
The catch in the mega manifesto is that it's not a new thing, it's an ongoing process. It's continuation of what he has started. That is one thing. It's not a manifesto per se. Making Edo great again, it is already in the process. The critical sectors of the Edo economy have been attended to. Look at agriculture. I saw a documentary and I have visited. Look at Sobe farms. Look at Agenebude. Look at all this one. They are all success stories. Look at there is one. He just attracted the palm initiative. I'm part of it too. I have a land. I've keyed it to it. I'm a farmer. That is the agriculture. They are talking about MOU. If where Oshiomhole, CECC Oshiomhole plant has reached today 99.9% commission just for commissioning, that is remaining. If that is what MOU does in a mega agenda, it's good to have an MOU governor. You go there. Look at the refinery. The refinery is about 80% completion. They say MOU. If that is what MOU of mega agenda does, it's good to have an MOU governor. You go to Gelegele, go and see what's going on there. Why are these guys lying? Why are they perpetrating falsehood? All the MOUs they are complaining about, they are working. And all these are part of the mega agenda, making it, transforming Edo to make it great again. That is mega agenda. And it's a mega business and it's a serious business.
Thank you very much. We are chatting with the publisher of the Harmless Rabbit, both online and in print, Engineer Lukman Akemokue. When we'll come back, we are going to be looking at his relationship with Comrade Adams Aliyu Oshiomhole. Stay with us.
The newly rebuilt Samuel Ogbe Governor Godwin Obaseki led administration's commitment to drive infrastructural revolution in the state and promote its aggressive sports development plan. The governor also embarked on the construction of 20 mini stadia with at least one stadium in each of the 18 local government areas of the state to further broaden the scope of sports infrastructural development. Already, over 5 of these 20 mini stadia have been completed. The world-class Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, which was ready to host the National Sports Festival, now postponed because of the COVID-19 pandemic, hosts an Olympic standard swimming pool, new 4-in-1 tennis court and spectator stand, a 2-story secretariat, a squash court and spectator stand with a befitting secretariat, a single tennis court for finals with spectator stand, weightlifting and para-powerlifting hall, which is attached to the main bowl, and the new gymnasium hall for weightlifting, kickboxing and boxing, among other facilities. Also, the tartan tracks and the football pitch were readied and brought to international standard for the spectacular event. Edo State is set to host over 11,000 athletes from across the country at the National Sports Festival, having beaten other states to win the hosting rights for the yearly sports tournament. In the last 3 years and 7 months, the Obaseki-led administration has continued to pursue developmental projects in the sports sector to create employment and keep our youths meaningfully engaged. This calls for the support of all Edo people to ensure continuity of this and such other noble projects. Come September 19, 2020, let's all come out en masse to vote for Governor Godwin Obaseki and Philip Shaibu for Edo's assured and continued progress.
You're welcome back. Now, Lukman, why, in your opinion, do you think the people should vote for the governor, especially as it relates to ensuring sustainability of his projects?
Well, it's good we mentioned this to Edo people. What is at stake in this September 19 election is between the forces of darkness led by Oshiomhole with his baby, Izeyamu, and the forces of light and progress led by Obaseki and Philip Shaibu. You can see their caption. We don't have godfathers, but we have God the Father. Oshiomhole wants to form God. He is even attempting to dethrone God from his omnipotence, from his throne, and assume of the omnipotence of God. And that is what happened. The first time an attempt was made on God's throne was Lucifer, when he attempted to rebel against God, God's creation. And what happened? All the other angels came together and threw him down. And since that time to date, Lucifer has been causing problem on earth. It's the same thing. Oshiomhole was up there, national chairman of APC. We know how Obaseki assisted him. We know. No sooner had he assumed that position than he started looking at himself as God and attempted to dethrone God from his omnipotence. Let me tell you what that means. Who has the capacity to determine who is good today and who is not good today? In 2016, Oshiomhole, you came and told us truth, not lies, things about Obaseki. You told us truth, not lies, about Izeyamu. You told us Izeyamu cannot be, that's the only one I want to pick, cannot be trusted with public treasures. He lies effortlessly and is allergic to transparency. He wants to steal at any given opportunity. That's what you told us. And these things were true because he gave analysis of what the man has done. The EFCC problem, the forceful takeover of Bede Breweries, and how he was collecting 25 million every month, and all many things. And even during his campaign, there are many things Oshiomhole told us in the secret that are not even in the public domain about Izeyamu. After you have said all this, then you told us about Obaseki. You did not lie. That Obaseki funded your election is not a lie at all. that Obaseki was the head of economic team that ran your government and made it to be successful is not a lie. That Obaseki did all this without taking a kobo is not a lie. Now, in 2016, these were the things you were saying. Then in 2020, the same Edo people, just 4 years, 3 years interval, you come out and switch them. Obaseki is no longer even qualified to contest. Obaseki of 2016. Izeyamu is now the best thing that has happened to Edo State. It's only God that has that capacity to assume omnipotence, that anything you say must be true. If something is black, it's only God. When I say something is black, and God tells me it's white, I take it. That is the position Oshiomhole wanted to. That's why God gave him a knock. I threw him out of the position he is.
Why do you think there was this switch in the relationship?
Oshiomhole, I think people should know the details, had a discussion with Asiwaju Tinubu. And Tinubu told him, go and take over your state. This is how you do it. Let me tell you, people should know what these issues are. Oshiomhole made up his mind about this long ago. And it was during the execution that his actions was showing that there is an agenda. Tinubu told Oshiomhole, go and take over your state. That was in Bodilon in Ikoyi, Lagos. The secret of taking over and assuming the de facto godfather of a state politics, do you know what he told him? Never, there are two things you must do. Never you allow any governor, no matter how good, to have 8 years. That when he tried it with Fashola was giving him tough time. It took the intervention of other politicians that are away from the state for him to be able to produce Fashola's successor, which is Abode. That he has made up his mind that however good a governor is, must not do 8 terms, 8 years. And Oshiomhole started playing out the cards. People think that the problem between Obaseki and Oshiomhole started with the House of Assembly matter. That's wrong. That's not true. What happened was that they had a gentleman agreement. Oshiomhole came, nominated all the House of Reps, Senate candidates and all. The man said, okay, since they are going to work with you in Abuja, you can go ahead. House of Assembly, what do we do? They sat down and reached agreement with the proviso that the people must have a say. They sent people down from Abuja to come and conduct the primaries. As they agreed, it was done as they agreed. Only for these people to go back to Abuja, and Oshiomhole cancelled it. This man left and went to Abuja to meet Oshiomhole. Oga, what happened? What is going on? Is there anything that we agreed that was not done? Before you know, he sent another committee led by a woman to come here and do their rubbish. And they came here, did whatever they wanted to do, compiled list and went to Abuja. And Oshiomhole was allocating, removing names and go. And he put people that were not voted in the primaries and give them because of an agenda. Immediately after the election, Oshiomhole took about 14 of them to Abuja. They agreed on who should be the speaker. Without the governor's knowledge. And it was a door of Victor they agreed on. With a master plan that they will hold the house. If this man exists, they will teleguide him to barely finish his first tenure. If he insists that he must go for second tenure, let them strike him out. Let them impeach him. That was the plan. Of course, the governor is not the boss. He got rid of the information. All attempts he made to go and see Oshiomhole, Oshiomhole was avoiding his cause. He's a peaceful man. That's why this matter has dragged this length. He's peaceful. He doesn't like trouble. All he wants is to keep his eyes on the ball and ensure the right thing is done. Oshiomhole was now dribbling a city governor. It's not that he does not know what to do, but he's a person who has so much concern for loyalty. Oshiomhole has evil plan for Edo State. And it is this plan left for Godwin. He will just, okay, I do my 8 years, I go back to my Lagos. He's not concerned about power. The Godwin or Baseki that I know. But he is fighting Oshiomhole because of his evil agenda. The agenda Oshiomhole has for Edo State, pocketing a state, just like Asiwaju of Lagos. That is what Obaseki is fighting. So people should know, Edo people should know that what is at stake is the force of darkness competing the force of light.
Lukman, you are from Edo North, and Oshiomhole is from Edo North as well, right? Now, what is your relationship with Comrade Adams Ali Oshiomhole?
Oshiomhole is like a father to me. I knew Oshiomhole when he was not even the NLC president. Philly Shoaibu introduced me to him. In Kaduna, Philly Shoaibu was a student union president. He was in Unijos. I was in ABU. Though I saw the mistake just now. I was not the president of ABU Student Union Government. I was the leader because there was no unionism. Myself, Dino Melaye, Tijan Kebir, Zayan Tambari Yambo, we just had the leadership of the school. Philip.
Okay, no, you produced the candidate that became the student union president.
Yes, I produced Aslem Eragbe from Edo State. They asked me, my northern friends, say, when the student union ban was lifted, the northern guy said, "Look, man, who do you want?" I brought a boy from my place in EBA and gave you the one. That's how powerful, how influential we were in Zaria, a school in a state that we are not from. Philly Shoaibu has already dominated the political scene of University of Jos, and he has now expanded his frontiers across the country in the name of NAS. You remember, Philip Shoaibu became a NAS president.
Yes.
This was our work. Philip was the one who took me to Kaduna, introduced me to Oshiomhole as his then. And he told me that Oshiomhole is a father to him. But let me tell you something. Philip Shoaibu's father was a father to Oshiomhole. He was the one who took Oshiomhole to Kaduna. Oshiomhole stayed with Philip Shoaibu's father, a pastor. People should know these things. All these ideas, I am this, I am that. Nobody, Oshiomhole is not God. It was Philip Shoaibu's father that took care of Oshiomhole. And the man is not poor by any means. I know him. And Oshiomhole now, normally, what do you want? He now handed over the boy to the Oshiomhole now called him his father. And he treated him as his biological father. And that's the way. So, Philip Shoaibu has been our leader in the student union front. Anything Philip Shoaibu tells us, once he said, "Look, man, hey, Dino Melaye, hey, all of us, we don't gather, we go with him." He was the one that told us, "Look, man, since we have this tendency for radical change, activism, let us make our father our leader." That was all. Any shit Oshiomhole vomit, we swallow it. He's the most difficult person to work with in life, Oshiomhole. So, but we managed him till he became the NLC president for 8 years. How did he succeed? I helped Philip Shoaibu. Between Oshiomhole and Philip Shoaibu, who helped who? Could Oshiomhole, when Oshiomhole was NLC president, Philip Shoaibu was NAN's president.
Okay.
And there was no way Oshiomhole could have succeeded if Philip was not there. Because he's the one that was he called the SUG president in the various campus. Lukman, these guys shut down the place. All of us, we mobilized students out and shut down the place. They will say, Oshiomhole is very strong. So who is helping who? So we have been close to him. The only break I had was I traveled because I had an admission. I forfeited it for 1 year because of Oshiomhole's cause. Now, when we now finished the election, the case was in the court. I said, in the September, they called again. That's okay. Since I've already paid 50%, let me go to the UK. So I finished. Oshiomhole, Lukman, Philip will call Lukman, where are you? What is it you are doing? I now got it. I said, let me prepare myself. So I have been as close to Oshiomhole as a father to son. And Philip has mentored all of us around Oshiomhole and ensure that all of us take that man as a father. So that is the reason, one of the major reasons I left this Oshiomhole case, because when these issues were generating, I was on Oshiomhole. People should ask him. I was meeting with him almost on a daily basis. Sorry, he will be in Abuja. I will go to his house in Metama. His house is close to my office. We will finish there. I will follow him to Aso Drive. I will beg, Oga, leave this matter. Your son, our own person, is the deputy here. Don't destroy Philip career. It's our lead. Now that you have been elevated up, Philip now is our leading light. A lot of us are looking up to him. Please, if you know you are going to do this, why didn't you allow this young man to remain in Abuja? This man does not even like this state politics anymore. He's a representative type of person. Like me, if you give me governor, I will not take. If you give me local government chairman, I will not take. The same thing with Philip. He was forced into this thing, into this deputy governor thing. He is a representative kind of a person. He speaks for his people and take the right share that belongs to people and transparently administer it for his people. That is Philip for you. So he has already done his House of Assembly job here. He took his ticket and went to Abuja. It was the same Oshiomhole that brought him here. I say Oshiomhole, why not allow this young man to have remained in his rep? Probably when he's growing tomorrow, he will go for Senate. Why did you bring this boy down to Edo State to be a deputy governor, and it is that government that you are troubling?
No. Lukman.
So let me finish. It is when he did not listen to me that I told him. The last one was in Yamo. I said, sir, since you have made up your mind that you want to rid this government where Philip is, since you have made up your mind that you want to disrupt Obaseki government, a government that I have seen is serving the interest of the people, I will disfather you. I will sever my relationship with you. And wherever Philip go is where I will go. Wherever Obaseki go is where I will go. That is why you see when this came out and resigned from PDP, you see the way, the chronology of events. Immediately the governor made a pronouncement that is out of APC. Not up to 2 hours, he has removed the flag and he said he's no longer doing me. What did I do? I wrote to my world chairman, I said, you are aware that the governor and deputy have left APC? He said, yes. Take your broom and don't do again. That is when, since that time till now, I don't have any conversation. Though he sees my bullets, I fire my bullets to him. Sometimes he will just reply, that is Oshiomhole. Sometimes he use people to call me, Lukman, this is you are going beyond bounds and all that. I said, Daddy, once I cut chain, I will go the full length with you. So my relationship with Oshiomhole has gone very, very sour, and I am not interested in meddling it anymore.
Thank you. Now, you have your snooping rabbits all over the place. Yes, though you claim to be a harmless rabbit, and you are wearing the toga of harmlessness, but I'm sure a lot of us, or a lot of the viewers will agree that you are not harmless from all that you have been saying so far. Now, your snooping rabbits are all over the place. I don't know if they can give us an insight into some devilish riggy plots that, that we're hearing about.
You see, once a man has a character that is consistent, that if you bring out 100 people, all of them will say, yes, this is what we know him for. Can I tell you what that brings for you? It brings a lot of goodwill. Once a man is known for truth and courage to say it the way it is, irrespective of what he will lose, he will have people who will acquiesce and be feeding him whatever information. But the only thing I do, I take responsibility for everything that I do in the Harmless Rabbit. Okay. And I protect my sources of information and ensure that where I source information from the network of goodwills I have across, nobody knows them. That is why we call them Snoopy Rabbits. He goes around where people are, he listens to what you are doing, and he reports to Lukman, and Lukman fires. So there is no human being you are going to hold responsible for what Lukman is saying. But the way it is, the names to be mentioned, I will mention them. And that is what brought us to the devilish and satanic plots that Oshiomhole is trying to perpetrate. He is in cahoots. There are 3 in number who are the enemies of Edo people now. Oshiomhole is the leader. The founder is Captain Hosa Okubo. Then Izeyamu is their toy boy.
Do you have any evidence that Captain Hosa is the one funding?
When the first time this rumor came up, I flashed a bullet at him. And he called me, Captain Hosa. He called me and spent more than 1 hour to deny that he has nothing to do. But what he fails to understand is that there is nothing that is hidden under the sun. And we settled. A time came, he has to even say, talk to your governor. Your governor knew that I am not. And I also, actually, I called her. I said, once you mention somebody to me, I will ask him. Oh. I called the governor. The governor said, no, I don't have any problem with Captain Hosa. If Captain Hosa wants to support anybody, it is a democratic right. You see the way the governor, it's his democratic right to do it. But for now, I have spoken with him. He said that people are dropping his name. I will take it like that. The information was unfolding. Every time the information comes, I will call Captain. And to be honest, he picks my call, and if he does not pick, he calls back. Why? What is this thing you are doing? There is an info. You are inside this thing. This is what you have done. This is what you have done. He will spend 1 hour to explain himself. Now, until the cock comes to roost. Captain Oshiomhole, you have rights of choice. You're an Edo person.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Don't you think that the captain has a right to spend his money on whoever he wants to spend it on?
Yes, he has the right to even contest for the election.
Thank you.
But a man should be bold enough to own up to his work. What Captain is doing amounts to cowardice.
How?
Why would you be funding an election and you are saying that you have nothing to do with it? And secondly, Captain Hosa wants people to believe that he's a statesman, he's an elder statesman. Captain, if you are an elder statesman, you will not be trying to force an evil pastor on Edo people as a governor. If you are an elder statesman, you will know and appreciate that Godwin Obaseki is serving the people. Even if you want to bring out somebody else, at least let it be a decent person. And so that you cannot convince Edo people, yes, Obaseki is doing well, but this one will do better. If that is the angle Captain Usa has come, who will blame him? You are doing hacky-packy game, doing hide and seek, bringing out billions to fund someone that deep inside your soul, you know is an evil, and he has evil intention for the state. We have evidences of how Captain gives money. That is why the other day we spoke on the phone, the last one, that's the last discussion, he was shouting that he's going to take me to court. I said, what? Let them come out, you know my house. Let the belief come and serve me. I will go and defend whatever I've written against you. So, Captain is the funder, I know that for sure. Then Oshiomhole is the man with the evil agenda. Izeyamu is the piper. Is the piper. Now, when they saw that the Edo people are not fools, that we are upwardly mobile, intellectually mobile, politically, that their game has come to the open, and the Edo people have made up their minds that somebody, Godwin Obaseki, who is working for them, they must re-elect him. They must follow his political direction. They now resort to devilish arts, which is what you just asked. You saw the bullets I released about the head of the killer squad in Kogi State.
Yeah, we read about that. We saw it.
Called Ahmed Atta. You saw it.
Yeah.
The thing is self-explanatory. I got calls. I got call from the office of the DGDSS. I got a call from the office of the IG. These things you have revealed, as security people, they are very difficult not to believe. Do you have any? I say, okay, let them write petition to you. I will fly to Force Headquarters and Yellow House and go and write my statement. I will meet in court. So, they plan to wreak havoc on our people just because they want to take Osadebe Avenue for their private pockets. And the people they are recruiting, all the members, 2 weeks to election, Edo people we know. There are certain things we have not released. Their faces, their phone numbers, their tribes, most of who are Ibiras and Igalas, like Atta Ahmed. He's an Igala, but we know his place. He's a killer. He's a terrorist. Now is the person Oshiomhole is inviting. And when he was coming with a grey Hilux and 2 Siennas, he came with guns, AK-47 rifles. He came with 50 liters of acid. It was kept in the back of that Hilux. And the boys. That vehicle, it was when they were leaving. Our rabbit, you know, a rabbit can sneak into anywhere in the car. Snapped their photographs and said to me before they left. When they reached here, you saw that place he was sitting, wearing a cap. That is Oshiomhole's private parlor in Iyamu. When they landed, he took the phone. He's a very intelligent crook. And gave to a Passat car, which he told to join them from Ukene. And gave him the phone to take to his girlfriend who stays in Use 2. I know the house in Abuja. You know why he did that? So that when they are tracking, anytime you call him, he tell you he has been in Abuja. But he never knew that our rabbit, a stupid rabbit, followed him to Oshiomhole's house. And a white Hilux. Oshiomhole delegated the guy called Tony. He's a Calabar man who drove a white Hilux to that place. At 12, they follow him. They went round about 1.3 kilometers to the house. If you go to anybody who knows Oshiomhole, there's a house called Presidential House. They call it Pink House, with a suspended swimming pool. They were there discussing on how they are going to go to Benin when my Snoopy Rabbit, after taking a photograph and listening to their conversation, escaped. I come with the information which I shot. And I have documented evidence to prove them. When they came here to Universe Sports Complex, we still snapped them. They finished from there, they came to Okorotu, including Edward Onoja, the deputy governor of Kogi State. They came there. They were to sleep. They've already booked 2 rooms here in a Proche Hotel for Edward Onoja and another person. The other ones were to sleep around there. There was Alogi Pupa, Westview. Their hotels, they booked their rooms. But immediately, our harmless rabbit escaped from Oshiomole's house in Okorodu residence. I know this is the time to shoot. Then I bombed it. When I bombed it, what happened? 1 a.m. The deputy governor said, Oshiomhole, I cannot sleep in this town. What I have seen from what these people they call harmless rabbit have revealed, I'm not sure we are safe here. It means that evil among us, somebody is following us. We are no longer safe. 1 a.m. they left.
Now, there's something I want to ask you. You know, you said that Captain Osa was sponsoring them, but are you aware that Captain Osa came out with a video where where he spoke, of course, as an elder statesman in Edo State and of course in our country, advising the youths that their blood is not, you know, in fact, that they shouldn't allow their blood to be spilled because of election, that no election is worth a drop of any Edo blood. That's why I
call Captain a coward.
I saw that video.
Why are you making such a video after releasing 50 million for the boys in his house in Agoba Simi here to go and prepare for violence? You can't place it. He thinks people are not seeing or following up with what he's doing. After releasing money for the bad boys led by Tony Kabaka, Shaba, is it the boys that does not want their blood to be shed that he took to the Omonoba's palace to go and humiliate the governor and his entourage? And in the ensuing melee, people got injured. And the same blood he's talking about. When Captain Osa came out of Oba's palace that day, what? The person who was he talking to?
I don't know. I was not there.
Did Tony Kabaka not mention it? That Captain Osa is the one who invited them there. So I like people who are brave, who are courageous. Like me, I say things the way they are. If you want to kill me, you come and do that. But I want to let them know when the threat of we harm Lukman was becoming very, very terrible. What I quickly did was to institutionalize the harmless rabbit. That is why we converted it to a harmless rabbit team, media team. All the people who are contributing to this are spread all over the world. We have about 9 of them in the US, 10 in the UK, about 22 spread across. It's a team now, so that if you take Lukman off about 5, Lukman will be on ground. Okay. Writing the same thing.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, we've come to the end of today's edition of the program. And as usual, we are going to go to our page after this break just to take 1 or 2 comments. Stay with us. Thank you.
Where we are presently now is the Oshiomhole power plant. The power plant will generate about 55 megawatts. As you can see there, we have 2 twin buildings with chimney channels on their heads. That is where the engines, where the generators are located. And each have 9 generators or engines each. Right immediately in our front here, that is the gas plant. The generator will be operated using gas. By my left here, this is the valve pit, where the gas is being connected to the NNPC gas pipeline. Those are the 3 major components of the power plants. The names are, that is Nigeria Electricity Management Safety Agencies. They are presently on ground now to certify the power plants and the poles starting from Ologbo here up to Benin City. Presently now they are in the Benin City area. They are the final authority to give.
You're welcome back to the last segment of the program, where we go to our page to take just 1 or 2 comments. Okay, this one is coming from Nikki Ogogo Osagbekoe. I hope I got that right. I'm sorry. He said, I don't do politics, but I love Governor Obaseki because he helped someone he didn't know, even when Nigeria government could not. I believe he will do better for Edo people. Let's see. I've been trying to see if there is any negative comment. I haven't seen. Okay. Ebegwe Ogiame says, I admire Engineer Lukman's boldness. He's very smart and blunt. Let's continue to support the government. All right. I think that is the much that we can take. I've not been able to see any negative comments. Some are even saying, please do not end the interview. But just to let you know that this interview is time-bound. Recall that when we started, we had some technical hitches because too many people were subscribing. The internet was hanging. That was why we started a little bit late, even if the guests got here very much, before we went on air with the program. So I would like to say a big thank you to Engineer Lukman Akemokue.
Thank you, Habiba,
for coming on the program. And on behalf of everybody that has contributed to this program from the background, my name is Habiba Oyege Oyarekwa. Good evening.
No man is God, Obaseki or governor, forward ever, backward never. Let's go forward together. Godwin Obaseki or governor, Obaseki is the right candidate for those. +4 equals to continuity. Dogba, Obaseki, continue your work. You do Ogbe Stadium renovation, even we hit the door best. Plenty achievement for your time, our life will done better. Obaseki Ashaibu, now them be the winning team. Godwin Obaseki,